friends, and welcome back to another episode of Beautifully Nerding. Now, you all have already read the title, so you know what's about to happen. Now, as I'm sitting down to record this, I felt like this is a kind of movie where I just sit down and let the thoughts flow as they will. And since I know that you all would much rather watch someone talk about it and watch someone react to it than to watch it for yourselves, I'm going to do my civic duty and talk to you all about the newest Amazon Prime Tyler Perry movie, Divorce in the Black. Now, with all of Tyler Perry's movies, you have a very extremely hardworking black woman who's doing excellent in her career, who has become either frustrated with her relationship or is giving way more than she should, and everyone around her is like, sister girl, you deserve better. And trials and tribulations occur. A wholesome hometown boy, probably with a couple of kids, comes in and swoops her off of her feet. More chaos ensues, and everyone lives happily ever after. That's literally the entire movie. I just saved you 2 hours. But Divorce in the Black stars Megan Good as our main character, Ava. Now, Ava works at a bank and she is married to her, I wouldn't say childhood sweetheart, but like someone from back home, you know, the sticks of Georgia. They've been together since they were like 17. She's the pastor's daughter. He's the, you know, the rough guy from the other side of the tracks who hard life, and they had to do what they had to do to get by. Just two completely polar opposite characters. And so Ava feels like she can love Dallas enough to help him to overcome his past. Because, you know, they were raised in the same town and she was able to go and succeed and do all these things. So, of course, Dallas can too. He needs a little extra love, and Ava is the person to give that to him. But Dallas's brothers and his mother are in his ear talking about how, you know, Ava ain't no good. She trying to take you away from us. She trying to change you. Whoop de whoop de whoop. He finally gets it in his head that, like, my brothers was right. I don't want no parts of this. I want out. Ava's like, the only reason I even stayed in here was because my daddy said that that's what you're supposed to do. As a wife, you're supposed to stick by your husband. So now Ava gets free of her situation and she's like, you know what? Let me go back to homeboy who was trying to press on me back in the day before I got with you. When I was 16, 17, I'm almost 40 now. Let me get back with him and live out this happy-go-lucky life. But Dallas refuses to take that lying down. He's like, actually, no, you're my wife. Just because I said I didn't want you no more didn't mean you were supposed to agree. You were supposed to beg for me back and do everything I told you to do because you the wife and you ain't supposed to have no life outside of what I want you to have. And Ava's like, what we're not going to do is this. So this is what we're dealing with here. Like, this is the crux of the actual story of the movie. Why does it take Tyler Perry 2 hours to tell the story? So we start the movie at a funeral. One of the Bertrand brothers has passed away. Ava has decided to, because she loves her husband so much, she has decided to have a proper funeral for her husband's brother by having her father, you know, eulogize him and have him be buried, you know, I guess wherever everybody else is supposed to be buried at. The eulogy starts to be a little cryptically pointed at the Bertrand family. The Bertrands pick up on the shade. I pick up on the shade. You pick up on the shade. Megan is like, Daddy, relax. You're doing the most. Daddy is like, you know, I don't think my message is fully coming across as intensely as I wanted to. And he just starts going straight for the jugular. But Mama Bertrand is like, you know what? Y'all be looking down y'all noses at us. Y'all think you better than us. You ain't no better than nobody. Take your little hand-me-downs back. Take your daughter who thought about all this and who tricked us and who made us come and take our boy here because we knew y'all wasn't going to do no good by our boy. And she just starts. She gets up. She's having a whole conniption. And she was kind of keeping it together a little bit. Then she starts cussing out folks in the church. And then she tells her sons to get the brother. So the sons go to get the casket. And Mama's like, that's not what I meant.
Y'all, get the boy. Get him. Get him. No. Not the casket. Take him out. Take him out.
So this is literally about like 8 minutes into the movie. Like, this is how the movie opens. They leave. Everybody is like, I could not believe that this happened in the house of the Lord. So Ava goes after Dallas and sees that the family has buried the brother, I guess with the rest of the Bertrand family who all is buried on their land, which the mama points like directly down as if she's standing on a bunch of graves. And I'm just like, so you just wanted your loved ones directly under your feet? You didn't want a separate place that you didn't want to put them in a non-high traffic area? Like, I just don't feel like the placement was well thought of if they're literally sitting right outside your front door. Now, I don't want to harp on every single moment of this movie because we will be here forever if I do that. But I do want to kind of go over some key points. So we meet the inevitable person who is rescuing the damsel out of this situation. His name is Benji, because Megan goes to the bar to find her husband because I guess that is his favorite place to be because him and his brothers love to get drunk. Of course, they're acting a fool. The older brother is like, you can go outside, I'll send him out there when he's done. And as Megan is going outside, she sees Benji, who is like this big super brolic dude.
Ava?
Hey, Benji. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
But then, of course, the brothers come outside at the exact time. Didn't y'all just say, like, go outside, we'll be out there when we're done? Like, so y'all obviously were in the middle of something, but 30 seconds later, now you're outside. I got this. Okay. And so they all circle around Benji, and he has like a foot on everybody. And they just like, yeah, you want us to put you back in the hospital, da 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 da. I'm like, okay, so y'all jumped this man in the past. Like, I'm sure we're going to learn more about that later. It's definitely smacked in our faces that, you know, Benji is the lovable one who got away, who's going to treat Megan right. And Dallas and his brothers are the absolute terrible people. They're bullies to her. They're bullies to everybody else. Like, we want Megan to get away from this situation. I keep saying Megan. Her character's name is Ava. I'm trying to make sure that I separate the two. So the barkeep is able to split up the fight that is about to ensue. Because Benji, like, he's like, yeah, I may be all like super nice and like kumbaya and let's be friends, but don't get it twisted. I'm going to defend myself. The barkeep comes out, you know, fires one off in the air and it's like, look, y'all get out of here before I call the cops. And of course, Dallas is trying to get in the driver's seat and Megan is like, hey, bruh, if y'all don't help me out, like y'all already lost one brother. Do you need to lose another? Like, get him. So they're finally able to get home. Dallas is like in the bathroom on the floor, sick. Megan goes in there to check on him and he's like, yeah, because da 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 da, and I thought I was protecting my mama and that's why she made me kill my daddy.
She told me to do it.
To do what?
Kill my daddy. She told me to do
Who
it.
killed your daddy?
Why are you with me?
Excuse me? What? Like, what prompted this? Like, he just sitting on the ground. And like these, like the moments they just happen where it's like there's a setup for what could be a very beautiful moment and then it's like storyline, plot device, da da da, and it's just like why am I being smacked over the head with this information? Like, as a viewer, I can assume that this is going to play into something later, but it just feels so aggressively forced that this is how the information is relayed to me. So as the movie goes, we get the, you know, the obligatory ride to work between Ava and her friend Rona, where it's like, oh, we've been best friends for this year. You know how I am, girl.
Ava, you know I love you. My best friend for 17 years. If you don't know me by now.
I know. That's my best friend, and I'm gonna stick with her.
Okay?
Ava gets home after work. They're going out to dinner with Rona, her husband, and then Dallas and Ava. Megan gets home and Dallas is just sitting there. So I'm like, so what does Dallas do for work? Because we don't see him go to work not one time. He says that he has a job. Megan says he has a job. The brothers back home, they like, oh, you know, you took him away from us. And they like, you know, he got to work. But do we know that he has to work? When do we see him working? All we see him doing is sitting around being a terror and screaming at folks and getting drunk. Like, that's all we see. Like, is he on bereavement leave? Was he able to file with his HR and be like, hey, my brother passed away, I didn't take some time? Like, I know that you can. Like, I personally know that you can do that, but did he do that? Did Ava do that for him? Like, you keep saying this man has a job, but we not seeing you go to work, Tommy. You ain't got no job, Tommy. So Ava gets home from work and it's like, we have plans. Like, why you taking so long? Like, hurry up, I'm trying to go. Like, Dallas is just, you know, trying to rush her. And she's just like, I just got here. Like, let me take a shower. I'll probably be like 45 minutes. And he's just still sitting at the table seething. So she goes upstairs, gets ready. Of course, you know, we see a clock to show how much time passed. I think she got ready in like 30 minutes. She came back down. Homie is gone. But we're also told their dinner reservation wasn't for all like an hour and a half later, maybe 2 hours later. So why did he leave so early? So he gets to the restaurant and the folks are like, where's Ava? So then Ava gets there later and Rona is like, girl, I'm so sorry. Da da da. Like, you know, being the friend or whatever. While they're sitting in the restaurant, Dallas is just in his feelings the whole time. And it's like, I want a divorce. And starts screaming about how Ava is so terrible and blah, blah, blah. And she keeps trying to change him and she don't like him, how he is. And he just screaming about how he wants a divorce.
I made some decisions in my life. I want a divorce. We don't have no kids, so this should be easy. Okay? You can keep the house because your parents gave us a down payment, and I don't want to hear their motherfucking mouths, okay? I'm not paying any alimony. You got a good job at the motherfucking bank. I got a lawyer look over the papers already. Get somebody get down there and look at it. Sign the damn papers, Ava.
And Ava's just like dumbfounded because it did, in her mind, it came out of nowhere. Because she's been doing everything she can, taking all this man BS to be the perfect wife. And now all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm finna leave you. Because he didn't actually want Ava to leave. He didn't want to get a divorce. He wanted her to feel bad and to beg him to stay. And that's what he had messed up, because Ava was like, you know what? I was only in this marriage because my daddy is a pastor and he said that you can't get divorced. And I thought I was doing a good wife by loving you through all your struggles that you was going through. But now since you said that you want to leave, I'm going to go ahead and let you leave. I'm going to go back to that old dude who I should have been with in the first place. But I was so dumbfounded by you that I wasn't paying attention to all the other good that was in my life. So Ava goes home to be with her parents for like a week or so, because that is a very significant change in her life. And, you know, sometimes you just need to take a break from things and kind of recalibrate yourself. So while she's home, her mom and her daddy are like, we're so glad you're leaving Dallas. Now go get with Benji. And it's like, can the tears dry for 30 seconds before y'all try to put her in a bed with another man? I completely understood where Ava was coming from, of being like, hey, literally haven't even signed the papers yet. Could you relax? And the parents are just like, we just want what's best for you. Ava and her mom have a really sweet moment because Rona wrote a 4-page letter about all of the terrible things that Dallas has done to her. I'm assuming that it's more than just being disrespectful and calling her out of her name. I'm assuming there's also probably some physical abuse in there as well. And they're like, okay, well, don't tell daddy because he gonna kill him. And I'm just like, what? Because all we know about the dad is that he's a pastor. Yeah, I'm sure that he would be upset. Like, yeah, this is rural Georgia, so I'm sure he probably does have some guns and whatnot. But I'm just not fully processing how the pastor jumps all the way to murder. We later find out dad is a veteran. I feel we could have known that earlier, because the way y'all just jumped to the pastor gonna kill this man if he find out that he put his hands on you, I'm just not understanding how that goes. Ava wants to, you know, kind of not feel the pain that she's feeling and, you know, tries to jump on Benji, and Benji's like, you're in a very vulnerable moment right now. I don't want to take advantage of you. We see that Benji's like this super loving dad, and like, oh, you know, I'm also going through a divorce, and like I can give you like the tips, and you know, this is the things you have to learn as you're going through a divorce, and da 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 da. And it's just like, okay, like I don't think she asked for any of that, but you know, your unsolicited advice on how to navigate this is cool. So it gets back to Dallas that Ava had a really sweet and fun time at the carnival with Benji. His brothers are in his ear talking about like, y'all ain't even fully got divorced yet, and here she is with another dude. She probably been messing with him the whole time. And I'm assuming that Dallas has to be the baby, because how are you so impressionable? This BS that your brothers are saying to you, like you haven't been married to this woman for years. Like I feel like you would be a better judge of character of what your wife would be doing than your brothers would be, because obviously your brothers don't want you there anyway, so they gonna say whatever they need to say to try to get you to come back home. And you were just waiting for somebody to give you a reason to leave this lady. I just don't understand their relationship at all. We don't see the happy times that they possibly had. All we know is that the whole family was dealing drugs and doing whatever and blah blah blah. I'm like, how all of y'all drug dealers and none of y'all got no money? That don't quite make sense to me, but okay. We don't see any flashbacks to happy times. All we see is this bruised and battered, well, not physically. All we see is this emotionally bruised and battered woman and this angry, self-loathing man who are married together. And it just seems like Ava is the only one who is trying in this partnership. So I'm just like, I get that we're not supposed to root for their relationship at all, but like, I just don't care about their marriage. Like there was nothing in this movie that made me even care about their union in the first place. They just are married and now they're getting divorced. So anyway, once his brothers put that battery in his back, he goes to Ava's job.
If you don't need it.
Look here, I done sent you 7 text messages about the time Jim need to be at that office to sign them papers. All right, he got a notary in his office. Now look here, I'm not playing this bullshit with you, Ava. You better be there tomorrow at 11, all right? And have your lawyer there, not damn show me.
Dallas, you need to leave this bank right now.
Do you want to lose your job?
I don't give a about this job. You need to get the out. Leave, bounce, go.
Rona is like, you know, she needs to get a restraining order. Dallas finally is able to get, you know, the paperwork drawn up for their divorce. And she's like, I don't want anything from him. I just want to be done with this. And just kind of just wants to sign the papers. She doesn't want to go through any of the actual, like, sit down and, like, you get this, you get that. She's like, I don't care about any of that. I just want to have a divorce in the black, which is a term I've never heard. Like she literally said it like it was just a thing that people say. I guess as a banker, she's like, I'm not finna go into debt over this divorce, like, which is fair. So then Rona hosts like a little congrats on your divorce party for Ava. She invites all of, like, you know, her girlfriends, and then she also invites Benji, which if you wanted it to be a girls' night, let it be a girls' night. If you just wanted it to be like just a party, then have it be a party. It just felt strange. And then Dallas shows up, or if he just wanted to come and talk to his friend, because Dallas is best friends with Jim, who is Rona's wife, who was also best friends with Ava. So like the two couples are very connected with each other. And so Dallas is sitting outside the house and Jim goes out there and it's like, what are you doing? Dallas is like, oh, I'm finna come get my wife. Jim is like, no, like they're having a girls' night. Dallas is like, oh, you having a party without me? You ain't gonna invite me to the party? And Jim is like, it's not that kind of party. Like, and so Dallas is just getting even deeper in his feelings in the bed that he made for himself. Like, you the one who been hating yourself, hating your life, hating your wife, finally asked for a divorce, and now you getting everything you wanted. You get to go back to home to your family. You can do whatever you want to do because you're about to leave your wife. Now all of a sudden you in your feelings and you don't want her to move on to be happy. Like, sir, you cannot have both. This is not how any of this works. And this is where things start to take a turn, but like, it's not even like third act. It's just like slowly ramping up. So Ava gets really drunk at the party and Benji takes her home. Their hometown is like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And so Benji was going to drive back home. And Ava's like, oh no, you don't have to do that. I have a spare room. You can stay there. Benji gives this whole monologue about how, like, if he's going to stay in the house with her, he doesn't want to stay in the spare room.
No.
Understood.
Do you really? Babe, it was by the grace of God I didn't sleep with you in the back of that truck. That ain't gonna work tonight. A guest room ain't gonna work. I wanna sleep with you. In your room, in your bed.
Oh.
I guess that's exactly what Ava needed to hear, because that's at least a 10 to 12 minute sequence of them doing all type of stuff all over the place. I had to fast forward through because I was uncomfortable. I was like, oh, this is a whole lot. Y'all are getting real intimate. I don't want to part. So then in the morning, Megan comes down, like she's getting ready for work. Benji's still sleeping. She comes down to leave. We see this boy Dallas just sitting at the dang kitchen countertop eating some dang Honey Nut Cheerios like he's still in there. Ava gonna talk about how'd you get in here? I changed the locks. Even before Dallas said it, I'm like, what's some locks gonna do? This man is crazy. He said, so you think a lock gonna keep me out my house? Sir, this is not your house no more. You asked for a divorce. The papers are signed. Y'all are divorced. This is not your house no more. And at no point does she hey, yo, Benji. She never says anything to maybe wake Benji up and give him some kind of warning, some kind of a fighting chance before this man barges upstairs. Because Dallas knows that Benji is there, because obviously his truck is still out there. So Ava's downstairs talking to him like everything is peachy. Dallas goes running upstairs, and it's literally not until they hit the bedroom door that Ava's finally like, Benji. So Dallas starts swinging on this man like he ain't wiped none of the crust out his eye. He still has sleep. Benji trying to gather his bearings. But again, Benji has a foot on Dallas. Corey Hardit is probably not a short dude, but the dude who plays Benji is very tall and built. So I'm just not understanding. It didn't seem like an even fight at all. I don't know if it's just a mix of Dallas was drunk or if Benji just knocked him out. But Dallas is unconscious, and Megan goes to start dragging him down the steps. While I just said that Corey Hardick is not a big dude, Megan is also a small woman. She's not tiny petite, but she doesn't seem strong enough to drag a grown unconscious man down the step outside the house, down those steps. And she did one part of it with one hand, and I was like, did she turn into She-Hulk? What is happening right now? Benji picks up old boy, puts him in the car, in his truck, put him in the front seat, which honestly I felt like it would have been safer to put him in the back seat, because he'll probably wake up, still be drunk, and then just drive off. I feel like the safer bet would have been to put him in the back seat, but obviously we're not thinking about safety right now. Megan slams the door, and it breaks the window of the truck, but it breaks as if somebody threw something at it. It's a very significant indention. No, someone just threw a pebble or something at that window, because that's not how that would have shattered from slamming. So now is when things really ramp up, because obviously Ava has had a complete character change. She is now at a point where I don't even recognize her from the girl that we saw in the beginning of the movie, and I'm just it's been 2 weeks, but the way that she went from absolute pushover to hood rat, it was night and day. Even Benji was looking at her crazy. But of course Dallas is upset now, so I don't know. I don't know if he just called his brothers. I don't know if he went down there. So Benji, them animals that you got on your farm, that's kind of your livelihood, all that is gone. They dead now. The police officers are there. They letting Benji know hey, we were driving by and we saw your animals were dying. We think it might have been some poison. And they're all okay, it was the Bertrands. And the cops are just we don't have any proof, so we can't do anything. Everybody knows that it's the Bertrands doing all of the terrorizing of everybody in the town. But since there's no physical proof, the cops can't do nothing. And Dallas is completely unhinged now, because he goes to the grocery store and sees Ava's mama. And he's like, oh, I see you still go do your grocery shopping on Tuesdays in the afternoon. And then puts his hands on this lady because he's mad at Ava. But he didn't actually hit her. He just kind of grabbed her and scared her. And so mama's able to get away. She runs out the store. So mama didn't tell her husband nothing. The cashier at the grocery store told Pastor Daddy husband, the Bertrand boy was in here acting crazy to your wife. Just wanted to make sure you knew. So mama gets home. Daddy is like, let me get all 16 of my guns and I'm going to go by myself to the Bertrand's house where at least 4 of her sons and this crazy mama are already going to be here. So I can stand up for my daughter and for my wife. Dallas has disrespected my family one too many times. And while I understand the sentiment, that is a stupid idea. It does not go well for daddy. The mama calls Ava. She's screaming and crying, talking about, oh, your daddy got his pistols. He going to the Bertrand house. Somebody stop him, da-da-da-da. He gonna get himself killed, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, while I understand that you were scared and you want to call your daughter and be like, oh my gosh, this is happening, I don't know what to do. Why not just call the police? Your daughter lives almost 2 hours away. The police are down the street. I just don't like, if you would have called the police and been like, hey, my husband is going over here. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I need you to go and try to de-escalate the situation. Granted, it's police, so who knows if de-escalation is even in the cards. But like, it would have been a quicker option than calling your daughter and her boyfriend to come run down the road. It was daytime when the mama called Ava. By the time they get there, it's dark. And still no police had come there. The Bertrands had put daddy in his truck. There was a whole lot of just putting folks in the driver's seat and just have them sitting there. So by the time Ava and Benji get there, ain't no telling how much blood he done lost. They finally call the police and get an ambulance there. Daddy goes to the hospital. He's unconscious. They talking about they don't know what his chances are. Could he die? Could he live? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Ava just disappears. Benji goes outside, sees his truck is gone. He's calling Ava. She's not answering. Ava drove all the way back to Atlanta. And as she was driving, she calls Dallas and is like, did you hurt my daddy? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, did you put your hands on my mama? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so she baits him and it's like, Benji's such a better dude than you. Benji's a better lover than you, so that she can make him come to the house.
You believe he was with him the whole time?
I was. And he's so much better than you. The sex is so much better than you could ever imagine. And you're the worst. I tried to make you a man, but you ain't shit.
I'ma show you. I'ma show you I ain't shit.
Oh, no, you won't. I'm on my way home right now to make love to Benji.
Now, Benji isn't at the house. It's just Ava there. He comes in through the bedroom window, ready to cause all types of havoc and chaos. But Ava's just sitting at the kitchen island waiting on him, drinking her glass of wine like she Olivia Pope. So he comes down there and he's like, oh, I thought Benji was going to be here. They have a little heated argument. He pulls out his piece, puts it on the table, points it at her, and she's still just baiting him. So he smacks her. And he is just like throwing her around, like throwing her over the kitchen island. And she's like, thank you. You gave me the bruises I needed. And I'm just like, okay, but I get the bruises so that you can, have a proper police report and get them arrested, all that good stuff. But like, he threw you across an island. Like, that could have broke your back when you fell. I just feel like the stakes were a little too high for your plan. He had put his gun back in his belt. If you pulled it out, you obviously wanted to. So like, I'm just not understanding why you're putting it away now. So they're running around, and Ava grabs a shotgun that her daddy made her place. Like, she had guns like placed all over the place. You know, like the Kevin Hart meme, the Kevin Hart joke, the gun compartments. Yeah, like she has them set up. So she grabs her gun out the kitchen gun compartment and points it at him. He's like, oh, you gonna shoot me? And she's like, don't make me do it. He takes one step forward and she blasts that dude in his chest. So of course, daddy gets released from the hospital. They're wheeling him out. He's like, oh, I don't need no wheelchair. And it's like, didn't the doctor just say like 2 days ago that they weren't sure if he was gonna make it? Now he fully conscious, fighting being in the wheelchair, talking about he want to walk out. Was your doctor Dr. Strange? And so the Bertrands are there at the hospital as well. They try to start some more mess, and they like, this isn't over. Ava is like, for your sakes, it better be, because you lost another son. She got so activated in these 2-3 weeks that all of this happened. And I'm like, yeah, you want to stand up for yourself and protect yourself, but this character change is so grand. I just don't get it. But yeah, that is Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. It was a wild ride. I didn't cover everything because again, it is 2 hours of movie. It was so much. I feel like a 0% is a bit much. It's not unwatchable. It's definitely unbelievable. I feel like it was, if you go in knowing that it's not a good movie and you're just there for some laughs and some like there's 1,500 plot holes, I feel like it's an enjoyable time. I'm in the same boat as everybody else. I do appreciate that Tyler hires black people, pays them what they're owed, and puts a lot of black people on. But at the end of the day, you need black writers. Like, you need other people besides just you creating these ideas and fleshing them out. I feel like until he does that, then it's gonna be the same type of movie of us watching it just to laugh at him. We still watching the movies.